Hansi Flick is the new coach of FC Barcelona. He is mostly known for the outrageous season with Bayern, where he won 6 titles in 12 months after taking over from Niko Kovac. It was also that time where Bayern humiliated Barca in the Champions League quarter-final with 8-2, not on aggregate, but in one single game. What not everybody knows is that he also used to be the assistant manager under Joachim Löw, where he won the World Cup with Germany in 2014, and he also used to be the manager of TSG Hoffenheim from 2000 to 2005. The now Bundesliga club was a third-tier club at that time. He also used to be the assistant coach under Giovanni Trapattoni at RB Salzburg until 2006. Afterwards, he joined the German national team as assistant manager under Löw until 2014. But before he joined Bayern, he was the sporting director from the German national team until 2017, and the managing director sport of Hoffenheim for a few months until 2018. In 2019, he joined Bayern as the assistant coach under Niko Kovac for 16 games until Kovac got fired in November 2019. After his outrageous stint at Bayern, he joined the German national team again in 2022, after having some disputes with the sporting director Hasan Salihamidzic. This time, he didn't join as assistant coach, but as the head coach of the team. After starting with a 13-game unbeaten streak, he eventually lost at home against Hungary with 1-0, and that's where the downfall started to begin. In 2022, he didn't qualify for the knockout stages of the 2022 World Cup. That was Germany's worst position in history. Some more losses against Belgium, Poland, Colombia, and Japan meant he was eventually fired in September 2023. Fast forward to today, Barca announced that Hansi Flick will take over from Xavi as the head coach of FC Barcelona. But why did Barca opt for a coach who failed miserably at his stint at Germany? And can he even cope with the pressure at the Catalonian team? Well, to answer that, we need to look into his tactics and man management at all of his stints as head and assistant coach. He usually opts for a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 formation. As the formation suggests, his playstyle is really offensive and aggressive, with a lot of verticality and counterpress. Out of possession, he opts for a man-oriented press, with all of the front four running to the player, who received the pass from the keeper. In his Bayern days, these players were Lewandowski, Gnabry, Sané, and Müller. They are fantastic of winning the ball back. Bayern scored a lot of their goals, winning the ball back 40 meters in front of the opponent's goal. If the press was outplayed, the two double pivots Goretzka and Kimmich would join the press instantly in the midfield, and both Davies and Pavard would push forward into the press to cover the wings. This was highly effective because if the front four couldn't regain possession, the two midfielders had the second chance. If the opposition tried to push on the wings, the wing-backs joined the press, and if even these two had been outplayed, both of the fast center-backs, Alaba and Boateng, and the sweeper keeper Neuer secured the defense. In possession, Flick wants verticality. He wants to be in the opponent's final third as soon as possible, often overloading the opposing defense with both wingbacks and the double pivots running forward. You don't normally see Flick's teams passing the ball in the defense from left to right, but instead they push forward as soon as possible, passing the ball to the playmaker, who could choose to attack down the wings or through the middle. At his time at Bayern, he loved playing it down the wings because both Pavard and Davies are phenomenal in crossing and in 1v1 situations. Both usually went high up the pitch to give deep crosses. On average, Bayern had 26 crosses per game, which was the highest in the Bundesliga. To have players on the receiving end, Bayern overload the penalty box with both inverted wingers Sané and Gnabry, the striker Lewandowski, the number 10 Müller, and one of the two midfielders. The other midfielder stayed outside, so if the opponent clears the ball, he would have an easy time regaining possession. Because of this overload, the crosser had multiple options inside the box, and Bayern could cover most spaces in the middle. This tactic went really well in the first season, but sooner or later, teams found weaknesses in his approach, which lead to more and more losses and draws. The biggest weak point is his vulnerability against counterattacks. Because most of his players are in attack, there are not enough players for counter protection. In most cases, only the two center-backs and Neuer stayed behind in the attack. This weakness saw Bayern losing the Champions League quarterfinals against PSG and losing the second round of the DFB Pokal against second-tier club Kiel in the penalty shootout. In general, the teams found more and more opportunities to score against Bayern, and in a lot of the games, Bayern only won because of their outstanding offense. Later, as head coach from Germany, he chose the same approach, which began with a lot of big wins against smaller nations like Liechtenstein, North Macedonia, and Armenia, but ended in losses and draws against strong counterattack teams like Japan, Poland, Hungary, Colombia, and Ukraine. With no intentions to change his tactical approach, he got fired at the end of 2023. His man management, on the other hand, is one of the best in the world. The reason he won 6 titles in 12 months is his ability to motivate the players. His playstyle involves a lot of running and having duels. A good man management is essential because the players must like the idea and the coach to run a lot and to throw themselves into as much duels as necessary. Even at his times as assistant coach, he had a lot of talks with each of the players individually. He was interested in their private life, and for most of them, he was a family and friend kind of coach. Under his belt, Davies and Musiala made the jump into the first team, and later, Davies was the best left back in the world at the age of 19. Okay, but lastly, does he fit into Barcelona's philosophy? In short, yes. As the team is very young, they will need a family kind of coach, so he can improve the youngsters like Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi, and Vitor Roque as much as possible. Also, his aggressive and offensive approach is also a lot of fun for the players too, as they have a lot of opportunities to shine with scoring or assisting. In my opinion, he could bring back the glory days for the club when they won the Champions League in 2015 under Enrique, for example, or all of their seasons under Guardiola from 2008 until 2013. What do you think about Hansi Flick? Will he transform Barca into a top European club again? Or do you think there were other better-fitting coaches available for Barcelona? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.